Not every agricultural school has to be transformed into an all-encompassing SUC. Because each type of institution will be defined, HEI creators will have to match the needs, goals, and resources of their communities against the type that best suits them. This process of deliberation is an essential element of a heteronymous HEI system, which is my first proposal for reform. My second deals with the matter of governance. I'm going to read much more quickly. The university is a unique institution. As a British columnist put it, and I quote, "There is something in its very penury that creates strange dynamics." And it isn't that we are ungovernable. It is that there are things we value more than money. And these highly cherished intangibles make it difficult to put us neatly in a box. We see the effects of this unmatched oddity, if you will, in two ways. The first, which William Wolff points out, is the difference between administration and governance. Administration, he says, is concerned with processes of resource allocation, including planning, human resource, and most especially financial management. Governance, on the other hand, is concerned with processes related to the university's core purpose: academic programs, production of knowledge, the faculty, scholarship. Preserving this distinction, he says, and I'm reading from him, so that the dog wags the tail rather than the reverse, is essential for maintaining healthy academic institutions. The second effect is the cultural divide between academia and each of the sources of pressure that bear upon it, namely politics, the market, and the bureaucracy. Politicians know little about running academic institutions. They tend to see the institution only in terms of its budget and statistical profile. As persons of authority, they expect to be followed and find little comfort in opposing views. Contestation, on the other hand, is second nature to academics. We are trained to question and challenge authority in the pursuit of knowledge and truth. I emphasize the word trained because there is a method to our line of reasoning. Business leaders, too, do not understand the unique nature of academic institutions. I mean, it doesn't make business sense to offer a degree program in history with few takers. Once management has made its decision, faculty employees are not to question management. And bureaucrats, a breed all their own, they value conformity above all else, even if the memorandum is inapplicable to universities or the required forms are inane. The problem is, as the president of Northeastern University points out, and I quote, "Board members at public institutions are primarily political appointees. While most are knowledgeable and dedicated, the political process by which they are appointed often results in a divergence of views and priorities." Such divergence is not new to us. You know very well how boards of SUCs and LUCs are constituted. And you have members who are politically appointed or who represent political entities like Congress, in the case of SUCs, cabinet departments. Through these members, the president of the country, when she so desires, can intervene in the workings of the university and in all kinds of decisions, including in some SUCs, the selection of academic programs that just happen to be the ruling politician's pet project. We're moving slowly. If we adopt a heteronymous system, the governing bodies of each type of public HEI would have to be differentiated. I mean, here again, a one-size-fits-all formula won't work. A community college has a different mandate from a trade school, from a research university. But whatever its composition, the purpose of the board is to ensure that the public university is accountable to the larger public. Not to politicians, not to powerful business groups, but to taxpayers, to communities, to society at large. The matter of accountability to the public speaks not about academic issues, which are the concern of the faculty, but of the institution's social responsibility. Outsider board members perform the special task of reminding us that knowledge seeking is only part of a larger social and national project, that we must spend public funds in keeping with our core purposes, wisely and prudently. that as parents entrust their children to our mentorship, we do not violate public confidence, that we are sensitive to realities and problems that might not directly affect our work, but which impinge on the lives of the students in our care and staff who labor so that the institution runs smoothly. But the board does not manage the university. That is for the president to do, along with other academic leaders. That is, it is absolutely imperative that appointed board members understand the mission of the HEI, accept that it is different from other social institutions, and recognize the expertise of the faculty and academic bodies over academic matters. I'm going to skip because I don't want to keep you longer. Come on. SUC presidents selected for political and not academic reasons also pose a problem. Such leaders invariably become more accountable to external constituencies than to constituents of the university. The heteronymous system I have in mind thus calls for governance reform. Now, my third suggestion deals with internationalization, and this is going to happen more and more in this century. We have Filipinos working in every part of the world. And I think cross-border education would give them a chance to keep their children nearby or get to see their children more frequently. In 2003 and 2008, the CHED stipulated the policies that deal with transnational education, the requirements of foreign providers, the due diligence of local partners, and so on, including sanctions if CHED violations are granted. But these policies are not sufficient, in my view. I read them. Okay, why? Well, they don't provide any rationale for the entry of foreign education institutions. Do we need them? Why? In what disciplines? What parts of the country do we need them? How do we prevent fraud or, diploma mills? On the other hand, what modes of foreign involvement can help upgrade our current state? Under the CHED guidelines, it is possible for a Filipino student to obtain a foreign degree taught entirely by Filipino teachers. So we can have foreign degree holders without any international experience. Now, while it is true that CHED requires foreign providers to possess accreditation in their home country or the equivalent, Philip Outback reminds us that American crediting agencies do not assess academic quality. All they do is set the minimum standard that, according to him, even lackluster universities can pass. So, are they enough? Well, we have another slide here, CHED, this one. Okay. I checked the website because CHED didn't have a list of the foreign education providers. And we have a St. Linus University, Paniki, Tarlac. Okay, now, St. Linus University is a duly registered company in Dominica. That's not Dominican Republic. Huh? Dominica is the former French colony, the Commonwealth of Dominica in the Caribbean, with a population of something like 70,000 people. St. Linus was registered there. It's licensed to operate as an electronic higher education institute under the International Business Company Act of Dominica. And look at its impressive accreditation from all the former Soviet states. And okay, now, in the Philippines, St. Linus is registered with a set, and they call it St. Linus Online Institute, SLOI. And the website, it's honest naman. It says, that's the marketing arm of SLU, and we don't fall within CHED jurisdiction because our country of origin is not the Philippines, and we don't offer bachelor's degree programs that offer PRC, that require PRC. But they have classes. Iba-iba, mga welding. Pero look at their impressive. Meron silang mathematical, computer sciences, technology. Pero yung classes nila, mga welding technology. Pero the best welders daw ang teacher. I don't know. That's what the website said. Anyway, there must be similar other creatures roaming about the country. I suppose my worst fear is that these foreign providers will buy into our system's worst pathologies. It is tough enough having to rectify what is. Now we even import the same. Without a proper regulatory framework, St. Linus can spread its wings all across our land. Meanwhile, this is my proposal. I think HEIs, we should be more purposive in selecting our collaborating universities. Many of the things we sign, they just get filed. I am extremely attracted by the idea of a strong Asian regional intellectual network, the one that I described earlier. It has borne fruit, it has gained international respect. Planning and higher education literature in the developed world all say that this century will be Asia's. So we should be part of it. As for global standards, Dina, Alan, Sinch, and I are convinced we have to add 2 years to basic education.